What's up, guys? So I got 4 things to show today. It's been a bit of a while since I've done one of these. Some of it's open, some of it's not, but I'll just get into it. If you've been keeping up with me lately, something that I've been kind of doing is revisiting a lot of the music that was really popular when I was young and I wasn't really into then, but now that's not constantly like being shoved down my throat. I'm giving it another chance. Something that I'm kind of discovering about myself more and more is that there's very little music that like I truly hate. Lot of it, like I'm kind of realizing if the mood's right, I can enjoy just about anything. With that said, there is a lot of music that I'm just rarely in the mood for, but I don't really like having that mindset of, I hate this kind of music, or, I hate this artist, or anything like that. So that's just kind of where I'm at these days. I'll get any music really if I kind of feel like it, if you will. So first off, from Blink 182, we have Enema of the State. And yeah, one thing that I kind of realized not that long ago, I always forget their band members' names. I hope they have it somewhere. Tom DeLonge, yeah. I'm not a big fan of Tom DeLonge's voice, and for a while I thought he was like the only singer of Blink 182, but I didn't realize that Mark Hoppus also sings a good number of their songs. And I like Mark Hoppus's songs significantly better, but I'll say that like probably the best thing about this album is just kind of the baked-in nostalgia in it, because a lot of the songs are just about being a dumbass teenager, so naturally they aged pretty well. But yeah, go ahead and show you the packaging as I always do. The booklet's pretty funny. You got the lyrics there as you'd expect, and then you got a whole bunch of guys in their underwear, so. And I say nothing wrong with a bit of male body positivity, so yeah. And the other album that I picked up recently is Avenged Sevenfold, City of Evil. One thing I'll say off the bat is whether you like Avenged Sevenfold or this album in particular, you gotta admit that's a pretty cool cover there. I'll go ahead and pull it out so you can see it a little bit better. Probably the main thing that stood out to me, so kind of funny. I recently I want to show you how it joins in the back, like there. Or at least it looked like it did to me at first, but now that I'm looking, it doesn't look like it actually connects. Oh well, but I recently saw like this description of like it was calling something proptistic, where you think you're on the spectrum, or have something going on in your mind, but you can't actually afford a diagnostic, or diagnosis, whatever. But yeah, I saw another thing that said that like people that are on the spectrum, their favorite things in music tend to be the stuff that nobody notices. That's definitely true about me, but that's not true about this album. My favorite things was actually the guitars and the vocals. I kind of like the melodies that were in this. I can't remember if I showed behind the disc, but I'll go and show their Skullbat logo. But yeah, I really like the guitar and vocals on this album. Can't remember the name of their vocalist right now. M Shadows. I feel like he'd work good as a punk vocalist. I mean, I don't know if he has a side project or any bands that he was in before Avenged Sevenfold, but I don't know. I want to see him run a punk band for some reason. Alright, so moving on. I got 2 things in the mail yesterday, actually, so let's get into it. So this first one, if you're like a big music person that's active on social media like me, you probably get advertisements for like up and coming bands and artists that, you know, just pay shipping and they'll send you their CD, usually signed for free. I've learned not to get too excited about that. I mean, obviously, you know, I want to get the music that like I really like, but also if I ended up going through every single one of them, like it's gonna actually end up being a lot of money spent on shipping, you know, and you know, some of that, you know, I might not end up listening to that much. You know, it's not something I really want to make a habit out of personally. But this one was getting advertised to me a lot, and I kind of finally caved on it. Make sure there's nothing extra. I'll probably get some more music from this artist after I've listened to this, but from Groovy Kaiju, we have Monster Tape Zero. So, from what I've heard of this is kind of like instrumental electro funk, I would describe it. You know, it's, you know, electronic and sample based, but kind of have funky vibes to it, you know. A little bit like Daft Punk, but I wouldn't get too carried away from that comparison. You know, it's very groove oriented. But yeah, another thing that's cool about it, you know, obviously you see some Godzilla reference just in its title and name and stuff, but it has a lot of Godzilla sample bits in them. You know, yeah, I've been finding a lot more bands that in some way or another reference Godzilla, like, you know, Daikaiju, like, you know, they have a lot of Godzilla references in their titles, but I mean, if you listen to them, it's not the most, like, obvious Godzilla music, but it's still pretty cool in my book. But this one, or this artist actually uses samples, which I think is pretty cool. Like, you know, if you go back to, like, you know, all those Star Wars tributes from, like, the 70s and 80s, you know, you think of, like, Miko with his album Star Wars and Other Galactic Funk. But, you know, what he was doing wasn't actually that unique. I mean, there was a lot of other artists that were doing pretty much the exact same thing he was doing. But the reason why I think, at least, that Miko is the one that we still talk about today is because he actually put Star Wars samples into his music. So, but that's just my theories and, you know, my tidbits and whatnot. So, got QR codes and stuff like that. I don't know if it's just because I have an old phone or because I'm a dumbass, but I don't even know how you can, like, scan QR codes that are, like, within a video on your phone or whatever. But I do know that's possible. Like, you know, I know how I can take my phone, like, scan that, but I know it's possible. Like, you know, if I just put this on here and you're watching on your phone, like, somehow you can activate those QR codes. So if you want to do that, do that. But packaging is pretty simple, you know, just a disc and a case with a single panel like that. But yeah, he has another album called Destroy All Monsters, which seems pretty interesting. I mean, obviously that's ripped directly from a Godzilla movie title, which you haven't seen. It's kind of a boring Godzilla movie, really, but it ends with, like, the best Godzilla fight scene ever, where, like, all monsters just team up together and kick King Ghidorah's ass, which I think is pretty funny. But yeah, last but not least, I got a vinyl in today, or yesterday, whatever. This was a pre-order that I did. That's just a advertising magazine. I think I've got, actually it's more like a poster. But yeah, I've kind of learned to expect advertising type stuff from some of these stores. But yeah, from the Cramps, Bad Music for Bad People. Honestly, I think the only song that I really know about from them is Human Fly, but it's a cool song. And yeah, I saw this advertised, so I bought it. Didn't realize it was a pre-order, so obviously it took a decent while to get here, but that's alright. This is a compilation because Human Fly is a non-album single. Normally I'm not big into compilations, but when it is a bunch of, like, stuff that's not on albums like that, that's fine, that's cool. I mean, obviously, you know, I got, like, the Smiths compilations, and Joy Division has some great compilations too, but nothing else really to it, just vinyl and a jacket, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, that's all that I've got for today. So hopefully going to another show this weekend with a lot of great bands. It's like 4 bands that I'm all into, I'm all familiar with. I don't really feel like trying to remember who they all were right off the top of my head. But probably take a few weeks after that. There's a show in Mobile that I want to go to. I'm considering getting a full set video for one of the bands that's from out of town that I enjoy. Then I'll probably take a few more weeks off. Obviously, I got my trip to Orlando coming up, and then after that, I know there's a show in Fairhope. Don't go to Fairhope that often, but it's slowly becoming a bigger music city, so. But yeah, there's a show over there I want to go to, so hopefully I'll get lots of footage from that. I don't think I'm going to take any videos while I'm in Orlando, but I'll definitely be taking some pictures. Feel like I had some other updates that I wanted to make mention of, but I cannot remember them off the top of my head, so hopefully I'm wrong about that. But yeah, I'll see y'all the next time I do a video then.